Hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com. I'm playing Cities in Motion 2. This project is going to be to remove a road, and it's a pretty long road. It's a long highway segment that was included with the game map that the game designers put in, and I'm going to replace it. And the reason why is because there's a defect in the game which won't let me build any connections to this road. So I think if I delete it and rebuild it, I'll be able to fix some of the traffic problems I have. As an example, you'll notice that there's a big backup of traffic over here. And one of the reasons why is because the cars are getting off at this exit. They're then taking this road. They're getting onto this exit. They're getting onto this road, and then they're getting onto the problem road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that road, and I'm going to make it so that these cars don't have to take this exit. They'll have their own way to get around. There's another area which has traffic, which is right over here. I expanded this road to add an extra lane, and obviously it does allow extra traffic to drive on this road. However, it is still backed up. Part of the reason why is because this off-ramp is only one lane. So we've got 3 lanes coming into one lane. I might have to change this this on-ramp over here to allow more than one lane of traffic to go through. But before I do that, I'm going to do a thorough evaluation of my map to make sure it's the right thing to do. And here's a general view of the rest of the map. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. Nothing special. Oh, it looks like there's another traffic issue over here. One of the connections, there used to be a connection from this green road to this road that was lost because of the bug. It won't let me build any connections onto this road. It keeps saying that the road is under the water. So I'm going to fix it, and the way I'm going to fix it obviously is by crossing my fingers and deleting it. So I'm going to go back to a 4-lane road. Hopefully I'll be able to start here and rebuild the construction where it left off. And this is obviously an underground road. And I have to go under the rail system. So I built part of it, and it's going to come back up in this area. So I will start to build the new segment right here. And plus I'm going to leave a little bit of space, more space than was there before. So it looks like it's going to work. Hopefully I'll be able to make all the connections. Okay, so I made a lot of the connections. You'll note that this monorail stop has 600 people waiting for it, so I'm going to probably have to increase the number of trains on that. So it's not complete, but I've got the basis for a road system. Just have to finish this connection right here, which is now connected. So now I have that road reconnected. Okay, so one of the issues I had was that I wanted to make a loop that connected from this service road to here, and I wasn't able to do it before. Let's see if we can do it now. Before it was done through this. Okay, so now I can do it. The problem has been partially solved. But the question is, how am I going to connect it? Okay, I see how I'm going to do it. It's going to be weird, but it's going to happen. My options are to go around the depot, or to do it a shorter road from here. Like so. That connects like that. And it looks like that's the one I'm going to go with. Not a straight road, but it'll do for now. Okay, so I have that connection. Cars are already taking it. It should alleviate some of the traffic that was taking this off-ramp over here. Let's see what is going on elsewhere. We have, well, we had traffic. You know what, it's Saturday, and because it's Saturday, there's going to be less traffic, so that traffic jam has dissipated. But the question is, how am I going to fix it? One way to fix it is to make this into a two-lane road. This little on-ramp over here. Might not work, going to give it a shot. I know it's not pretty. Part of it is because there's a steep ramp, a steep incline. But it works. So let's give that a shot. I'm also going to build a road at the ground level so that buildings can start to form. I wonder why it's not letting me build over here. Something like that. Make good use of that space. It looks like there might be an intersection here. Yep, there is. Can't believe I just deleted the road that I built, which was a complete mistake. Okay, so we've got that road back. I wanted to delete this little corner segment. You'll note that a lot of traffic uses the service road that I made. Okay, let's see if there's any other problem areas. Well, we have this big area over here. And like I said, the traffic used to go from this green area to this road. So let's see if I can replace what is now gone. I suppose I would branch off of here and swing around. Not going to be easy. Obviously I can do it. It's just going to have to be a rather sharp turn. It's got to go up too. I know it looks really funny. Then it's going to go back down to the ground level. That looks really weird. So I'm going to remove it. It's too sharp. I don't like it when they pop up that little box. Makes it difficult to see what I'm doing. If I do it underground, it's going to work easily. So why don't I do it underground? I'm going to go 2 down, place a pivot point, swing it around, and then bring it back up to the surface. No problem. Okay, so now we have an underpass, which is right here. Haven't seen any cars use it yet. Then again, haven't seen any cars on this road either. I wonder if something is wrong with the connection. Yeah, there's a car. Now over here, I was unable before to build on-ramps and off-ramps. So maybe now that I've rebuilt it, I should be able to make some. There is an off-ramp. And hopefully I will get an on-ramp also. And there you have it. And I suppose I could do the same over here. It's probably going to be difficult over here because of the monorail system. But it looks like I could build something right here. Maybe not. I could build an off-ramp from here to here. And I think I will. And then throughout the city over here, there's also no on-ramps and off-ramps. So I'm going to see if I can build one somewhere. This would be a great place to do it right here. But impossible. Okay, we've got on-ramp. And let's shoot for an off-ramp. Okay, it worked. Anywhere else? I'm thinking right here I could build another one. Off-ramp. Let's put in an on-ramp. And I am all set. Lost a couple buildings, but that's a sacrifice you got to make when you're in this kind of business. Okay, so let's see how that crossover did. Looks like absolutely nobody's using it. Okay, some cars are using it. And hopefully they're doing that instead of doing the silly off-ramp thing again. So it looks like nobody's using that off-ramp again. Okay, so now we have an issue where we've got cars on this merge that are slowing down. I'm going to increase the width of this connecting piece to 4 lanes. Like so. And that should make it easier. So now they've got, well, it's not going to be perfect, but it will make some improvement. And we'll have to wait a few minutes for the change to be reflected throughout the traffic. If you want to see what the highway looks like, there it is. Next to those buildings, what a highway system. Now there is an issue with this little on-ramp being so short. Right in this area right here. And I could fix it. What I could do is make the on-ramp go underneath the service road and reconnect. And it would solve some of the problems. These cars would queue up on the on-ramp instead of on the highway. But it needs a place to connect to. And a place to connect from. Okay, so I have one idea that would work. It would be an elevated highway that would connect over to here. I could definitely do that. If I could connect it to this location, that would also work. You'd have to connect basically from here into here. And I don't see that connection. Nope. But I know I'd be able to fix it. It definitely is fixable. Just got to figure out the right way to do it. Basically what my plan is to build an off-ramp from here into this area. As you can see, it is possible. So right there I have the beginnings of an off-ramp, but it needs a place to connect to. Such as here, which it doesn't look like it's going to do. Well, the traffic jam has gone away, which is always good. Wow, I could connect it like that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to remove this little piece over here. Remove this piece. I know it looks stupid, but that's what it is. I'm going to remove that. Remove the little stub. I wish I could do it another way, and obviously it is possible to do it another way. Let's try a different way. If I don't like the other method, I can always go back to what I just had. The other possibility is to connect from here to here. We could give that a shot, see how that works out. So at least now they have more room to queue up. Okay, let's see what the other problems are. Over here we've got a slowdown. Question is why? A lot of cars trying to get on. I'm going to make the road wider. I'm going to remove this, make it a 5-lane. That should improve performance. Come on. Connect from here to here, and it says the slope is too steep. This is just one of the goofy things about the software. Might not be able to connect this road again. Oh, it did. Okay. So let's see if that fixes the problem. Got an extra lane to move into. It might have absolutely no effect whatsoever on the game. We'll have to wait for this traffic to clear up. Can check the other part of the map. That looks fine. Okay, so we've got an issue here with this new road that was built. It looks like it's pretty busy. Everyone's trying to get off at this intersection. Which is probably because they live in this neighborhood. Yeah, we don't have a highway over here. All this area has no highway whatsoever. So I'm going to have to build something that goes into here. And I could just as well do it here, but I want it to be a real highway connection. Maybe this road that I'm looking at in the center of the screen looks pretty good. It's only a single lane road. Wouldn't be a very thick highway. But you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so I am going to build a 3-lane highway starting right here at this intersection. And hopefully it will fit perfectly. Well, 3 lanes looks like it's too wide. We don't want to knock any of these houses down. Oh, it didn't. Didn't knock anything down. Wow, cool. It is a very straight road until I get to here. Okay, so I'm going to build it to here. Let's see how far I got. Not far at all. And I'm going to continue up to here. Obviously over here there's going to be more room. Still have all those buildings, which is cool. And I am going to continue. We got a little hill we got to deal with. Oh, and it looks like it turns into a bridge. So I'm going to stop it there. And start making connections. Well, that's a pretty long road, actually. So 3 lanes was probably a smart idea. And I'm going to connect from here. Okay, so that'll be one of the connections. And I know it looks goofy, but that's okay, I don't mind. And then the other one will come from perhaps over here. I know it's going to be really difficult. Let's see if it's possible. It looks like no. Obviously, I'll be able to do it off of this road. It seems kind of silly to build it like this. Okay, so I am going to remove this and rebuild it. And go back to my 3-lane highway. Start from here. And build to there. I'm going to build an on-ramp using only 1 lane, just for simplicity. Hey, it looks like it did it. Just like that. And then one that connects from here. Sort of like that. Okay, so at least now we've got the traffic connected so that it can take this road. Now I need to build off-ramps and on-ramps. I will build one here. So we've got off-ramp and on-ramp. Okay, that worked out pretty good. And then I will build another one, perhaps over here. Off-ramp. And then an on-ramp. I'll build another one over here. Now the off-ramps are obviously more important than the on-ramps because these on-ramps are sending the traffic to the edge of the screen, and it's unlikely that the people that live here need to go to that part of the map. Although there are office buildings in that area. I'm going to build another one over here. Well, perhaps not. I don't really think it's necessary. We got really good coverage. Over here we want to make sure we've got some form of a connection. I'm going to make it a 3-lane road that connects from here to here. Well, I guess I'm not going to. So I could do it like this. I think it looks stupid. I could do it like that. That's interesting. I really wanted to connect it right to there. I don't know why it won't let me. Just do a connection from here to here. It'd be so simple. Okay, last try. We go from here to here. And that will currently be the end of the highway, but of course I reserve the right to extend it later. Now the question is, what about the return traffic? The return traffic is going to run parallel. I suppose I could go behind some of those houses. I'm going to start from here and go behind the houses, because everybody loves to have a highway behind their house. Down this road to here. Trying to make these roads as straight as possible so that we don't knock down any houses unnecessarily. You never know what's going to happen. And then connect this to the rest of the system, which I'm sure will be very interesting. We will have a road that connects from here to here. I'm going to make a pivot point right in this area, so it should make a smoother curve. Okay, so we've got a road that comes back, and it's got to cross over and connect to the other highway, which might be impossible, especially since the highway's going all over the place. Okay, let's see how it goes. Got a nice little circle here. And now we need to build on-ramps and off-ramps. Build them as short as possible. And the off-ramps are not that important. They're unlikely to be used. The on-ramps are far more important for this particular stretch of road. But I'm happy that the highway is being used on the other side. Now you'll notice that the road is incomplete, and that's okay. I could leave it that way if I wanted to. But I'm not going to. I am going to start it from here. And connect it to here. Oh, look, some of the houses actually stayed up. It actually built over some of the houses. So that's pretty cool. And then make some sort of a connection to get up onto here like that. And this is all temporary. You know, in the future, I'll make it connect to these other roads over here. That should alleviate some of the traffic jams that are occurring over here on this road. Everyone's trying to get off at that particular off-ramp. Now they've got other choices. The question is, where are all of those cars going? They're all getting off at this off-ramp. Because I'm guessing there's not enough highway in this area, but it looks like we do have highway over here. So that's a popular exit. For now, I'm not going to worry about it. Let's check out the rest of the map. Looks like we got a lot of people showing up at the Sydney Opera House. A lot of traffic there. Little I can do about it. Okay, so we've got another backup. All these cars want to get off at that exit. But the question is why? Let's see what they do. Looks like it's all local traffic. And we've got a decent highway system. So there's a highway over here, but we don't have a road that connects to it for this traffic. which is, I think, what the problem is. So we need to make better use of this road over here. This right here is... This is a westbound road, and there's no eastbound road. So what I'm going to do is build a road parallel to it, somehow, to bring traffic onto that road that's not being used to its full potential. Pretty much have one choice, which is to go over the boulevard, or to go behind these buildings. That's another option. I could build a 2-lane road that starts over here, squeezes in between these buildings, wraps around to here, wow, that's weird. That's an elevated road. Oh, you know what? That road was created by the game designers, not by me. So not my fault. Oh, it knocked the building down, but that's okay. Another building will take its place. So I'm going to go from here down below here. And I've got to connect this to the existing road, which means I'm going to have to remove this, which is too bad. This will then make a connection more like that. Okay, so I could deal with that. And then I will take the 2-lane road over here and connect it to here. Good connection. Everything worked nice and easy. I will remove this and connect the highway over here to that little road that I made. And there's the connection. And that's going to be temporary. At some point I'm going to have to change that. So a building already formed in the space where a building once stood. Okay, so I've got that one connection, but there's something missing. Yeah, there's a westbound but no eastbound. And the reason why is because the road connects earlier. So it's not necessary. But hopefully that will alleviate some of the traffic congestion. And it's possible that I could put a surface connection, but I don't see a logical place to do it. So I'm going to leave it as it is, consider it a victory. it's Monday at noon and there's no traffic over here. That's pretty cool. Normally this place is packed with cars. Now I just built this highway here to alleviate some traffic congestion. I don't see any of the traffic congestion at the moment. So it looks pretty good. Got to remove some little stub pieces. Considering that there's a lot of workplaces over here, I would expect that there would be traffic at the entranceways to those highways. But there isn't. That looks good. That looks good. This is one of those weird intersections you're going to see in my other videos also. It just happens to make this funny square. And it doesn't loop or anything, but it's got this weird, takes up this block. Yeah, all the roads look good. Looking good. And it's funny because you always wonder, hey, when am I going to get some traffic? Oh, the traffic will come. Eventually it will come. Let's see how the population growth is going. There hasn't been change in a while. And the reason why has to be either because I haven't put down new surface roads or because I haven't laid down any transit. So obviously I need to look at my coverage area to figure out where to lay the new transit. One option is to do another ring around the complete outer area and make it a metro line. The other option is to do just the north, make a ring in the north. It's going to be difficult to share some of the stations, but not impossible. That's probably what I'm going to have to do, is make a ring around in the northern area. And then there's gaps in the coverage, and the gaps is where you have a couple of red buildings, such as right here. And what I could do is I could run buses to all the gap areas. Yeah, I'm really thinking about doing a ring just around in the northern area. The problem is that it's just not very long. It would be a very short system. You know what? I'm going to make it the monorail. That's what I'm going to do. So there should be monorail over here. So there it is. And I'm going to connect this monorail system so that it does a loop to do the next ring. And I'm going to build it right now. It's going to cross over the highway and then head north. So that's the exact type of connection I want. The connection that was created right here is perfect. and it's going to go this way. Wow, it's not tall enough. I guess that's a bridge over there. So I have to build really high in order to get over that bridge. Lots of traffic showing up. Wow, look at that. Okay, so I've got it to there. I had to knock down some buildings, unfortunately. It's going to be a weird shape. You know, one of the things you just have to accept when you build monorail. But in the end, it will be worth it. It's kind of funny. The overall effect is that you reduce traffic by giving them public transportation, but at the same time increase traffic because the population increases. I know it makes no sense, but that is what happens. It would be nice to just be able to go under that, but it looks like I can't do that. So I guess I'm going to have to go over. And bring it back down to 8 meters. You always want to build as close to the ground as possible, because you never know what you're going to have to build over it. You might as well make it consistent. So that was that little segment that went over the loop is at 16 meters, and now I'm going to bring it back down to 8. And continue on my way. In order to reduce the number of curves, I'm building segment by segment. Okay, so here's an interesting place. Luckily it goes under the bridge, so that's what I'm going to do. And again, I'm building straight segments. You can see that houses are actually being built under the bridge. The bridge is tall enough for that. It's going to be a long way to get around. I'm almost halfway done. Now here's an interesting situation. What do I do here? Should I cut through these buildings? Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to. but you want to minimize your losses. So you can see over at this angle it's not going to work, but at this angle it does. So I'm going to build it at that angle and hope that it will build on the other side. I'm sure that buildings will come back. This might be a curved segment. Oh, so over here it didn't build the connection properly. Oh, there it is. That's what I need. So I can keep on building. So over here we're going to have some overlap. The people in this neighborhood already have public transportation service. And same with this neighborhood. The neighborhood coming up. And that's, oh, you know what? That's bus service anyway, so not that big of a deal. Bus service is inferior to monorail. And there's the bus depot, and we're going to build a shiny new monorail right over your depot. Over here I'm probably going to have to raise the monorail, so I'm going to go halfway down the block. To about here, and then I'm going to raise it to 16 meters, and then I'm going to continue across. Okay, so it didn't let me continue across, so I'm going to try starting at this point. I got to rebuild it. Going to have to make it higher. Okay. Long way to go. What a long road. This is where it all happens. Now, one of the issues that I have is that the people on the monorail are not connecting to other transit systems. And that's not good. We want them to have access to as many transit systems as possible. They're too far away from the other transit. So I'm going to have to make sure that when I build my other transit system that I get stations that are as close as possible together. Or perhaps I will use the bus system in order to link people from the monorail to the metro. And it will make everything more efficient. Right now it's just a monorail. Okay, so I'm getting to the point where I've almost come around. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this thing over to the other side. Let's see how it's done. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to come across it soon. Over here we don't have a surface road as a guide, so I'm going to build one. From here to anywhere. Anywhere will do. Maybe something like that. And then I will return to my monorail, which is going to have an interesting curve to it. But that's okay, the monorail doesn't care. Okay, so here is where we make the big connection. Let's see if it works. If we can get that T-shaped connection, I'll be very happy. And I'm not seeing it. That's too bad. So maybe this will work, and maybe it won't. Okay, so there's obviously an issue with this connection. Oh, I hope I don't have to rebuild the whole entire road. Yeah. Don't want to do that. So I will build something over here. Well, that connection works, so I'm going to take it and remove this. And remove this. Okay, so we now have a monorail. Goes all the way around. Now all I have to do is add stops. Monorail. Stop. And I don't want to be too close to a highway because I don't want it to build the stop on the highway. As you saw with that, if you saw the video with all the pedestrians that were walking on the highway and the way I fixed it, you'll know what I mean. There was a subway stop that was on the highway, and the pedestrians had to walk along the highway, and it was a long walk. So one of the issues that I have is that I don't like the fact that my existing monorail that I'm laying down right now doesn't have connections with the rest of the transit system. And obviously there's going to be a connection in the south where it crosses over the river, however, and also in the north when we get to where the buses are. But for the rest of it, there's no easy connection, and I'd like to fix that. Be a lot of overlap over here. This is one of my favorite city maps that I've ever made. I've had a lot of fun building the highways and the monorail. It was not boring at all. Took a lot more planning. And the satisfaction rating of my city is actually decent, even though I don't have full coverage yet. So here's where we're going to have some overlap where people will be able to get onto a bus if they want to. Or perhaps get onto the metro, which isn't far. So you'll notice that there's going to be little gaps. On the right of the screen, there's a small neighborhood over here where we've got some red houses. And as I said before, I'm going to fill that in using bus service. And the bus service will go from one gap to the next. And it will then also connect with the metro and the monorail system. I'm probably going to have to make a new monorail depot. I'll have to find a place to put that. It's probably going to go into a residential neighborhood. A residential neighborhood is going to have more space for building. Here's that goofy connection. But the monorail don't care. And then when we get into this area, we're going to share stations with the existing monorail system. Actually, I could just as well make the depot right here. So I would go here, pick a depot, and build it perhaps like this. If I could get that T-shaped connection, that would be awesome. I mean, it's got to work. I got to place it and hope for the best. Did it work? No. Didn't work. It's funny it worked elsewhere, and I certainly wasn't trying. Okay, so I will build a line that goes that way and another line that connects like that. Okay, so I've placed my stops, I've placed the monorail itself. Now it's time to add the line. You begin at the depot, and I'm going to do counterclockwise first. It's going to stop here. We don't want it to stop at too many of these lines because it doesn't need to. So I'm going to skip some of them. And that'll make it move a little bit faster. There's a lot of people waiting for that monorail. Now, once I'm on this northern loop, I'm not going to skip stops anymore. I'm going to connect to every stop. And don't worry about the traffic. Once I get the monorail in, it should lighten up the traffic a little bit. Not a lot, but it will lighten it up. Now, the other thing that is very interesting, every time you have a transportation line, every vehicle must return to its depot. Actually, there's a way to do it to bypass the depot, but forget about that. Every vehicle eventually is going to go back to the depot, which means that the passengers all have access to the depot. So you can use the depot as the point where you merge all of your lines together. In other words, let's say you have 5 depots on the map. I could build a bus line that goes from one depot to the next depot to the next depot, etc. And just by, let's say you have 5 depots, if you make 5 bus stops near each of those depots, then every single line will be connected by bus. It won't be efficient and it won't be fast, but it guarantees that people can switch between every line. One of those little tricks that I learned. So basically you build one bus line that connects all your depots. And you'll know if it works, because if it works, the bus will carry a lot of passengers and it will be profitable. Okay, so I went around the loop in one direction. Let's see how many. It's asking for 5 trains, so I'm going to buy 10. And then I'm going to add the line going the other way around, which is going to be clockwise. I'm going to close this line, create a new line. You start with the depot. Now I'm going to head north. And the coverage area is going to be the same. But people now have 2 choices. And obviously they're going to take the fastest route to get to work and the fastest route to get home. So what could happen is, if you only had one line, then everybody has to take the full line to get to work and to get back. But if you have a line going in each direction, it doesn't work that way. Because I have a line in each direction, they can take one line to get to work and take the line for the reverse direction to get back home. So I do have all these little gaps. And perhaps what I'll do next is start building bus lines to fill the gaps in. But they're only going to do the tiny gaps. They're not going to do the large neighborhoods that need transit. Over here, I'm going to skip some of the stations. I'm probably going to do every other station. You know what? I'll do every stop. It's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. Almost done. And then the final connection. Now the train, there's already a train that was sent out on that route. That's how fast it is. Got to make sure we have enough trains. It says we need 10. We do have 10. I'm going to buy a few more. Have a few extras. Okay, so I added some coverage. It's pretty cool. On the map, it's depicted by an orange, a thick orange line, which I'm going to turn off now. Actually, now it's on. So you can see the monorail system in orange. And the green line is the metro system. Okay, so let's check. Well, I'm going to save the game. After all that work, I'm definitely going to save the game. And I'm saving it under 2A because I alternate my game saves. It is Wednesday at 6 a.m. See how the traffic is doing. Nothing special. Nothing special over here. We're going to have to monitor this monorail system because if there's a lot of people waiting in line, we're going to have to increase the number of trains. Got 188 over here. Line 3. Got a lot of people waiting. Okay, so line 3 is one of the new lines. I am going to change the schedule. I'm going to go to custom, put the end time for 11:55 p.m., and I'm going to set them to go every minute. And I assume that line 4 is going to have the same issue. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go to custom, set the end time to 11:55 p.m., set it to be 1 minute. Kill two birds with one stone. Now I need 24 trains. I only have 16. I'm going to buy about 10 more. And there we go. Wow, 240 people are waiting. Yeah, that is crazy. Okay, so that is the Sydney Opera House. And this is the central line. So basically this central line here is where you're going to have more than one monorail. So this is kind of like a hub. You know, this is where the people from the north and the south can switch lines. Okay, let's take a look at traffic. Looks good here. Good over here. Looks good over here. Good over here. Good over here. Looks good over here. Looks good everywhere. Check that graph. City population. You'll note that population did go up a while ago. No recent changes. So the monorail did not increase the city population, at least not yet. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is find the coverage gaps. All these little neighborhoods, like this one right here, need to have coverage. So the question is, how are we going to do it? Should we add a rail system to go for all these little areas, or should we add a bus system? And obviously some of them should be done by bus. I'm going to give you an example. This neighborhood right here. Bus route, definitely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a bus depot somewhere up here in the north. Not next to the one that's already there. Go to... Actually, I'm going to make this a different video. So I'm going to save my work once again. And for the bus route, I will make a new video. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.